Folks, the market doesn't care what you need. I'll explain what I mean and then get into the latest home prices and insights for the City of Toronto for week ending July 26, 2023. Recently, we were part of a transaction where we're representing the buyer and we're looking to purchase this house. The sellers of this property closed on this house from the builder April this year. And right away, they put the home up for sale just a few months later. And we're looking at this property for our buyer client. Now, the home had been on the market for a little while, close to almost a month now. No offers, nobody had tried to purchase it. So we put in an offer, and in negotiating back and forth and having conversations with the sellers, turns out the sellers were selling this property at a loss. So even if somebody paid exactly what they listed the property at, they were selling it at a loss. And we came in under that. Now, our price was based on comparable properties in the areas that have sold. It's based on a declining market. So we looked at all that and we came up with a purchase price that my client, the buyer, felt comfortable with. And when we presented that to the seller's attitude was, Santo, there's no way we can accept that price. We're losing too much. And this is what I mean about the market doesn't care what you need. The seller's attitude was, we need to get at least this. We're prepared to lose a little bit, but we don't want to lose too much. And I kept saying, but there's nobody lining up to buy your house. There's nobody offering you more than us. What if I was to turn around and tell that seller, well, this is the most my client can afford budget-wise, so you have to take it. I mean, isn't that kind of the same scenario on the other side of the coin? So the market is the market. Not too long ago, when prices were increasing rapidly, where it seemed almost every day prices were going up and buyers were lining up to outbid each other. That was the previous market that we were in. Do you remember that? Well, a buyer really didn't have much to say when it came to what the price was. Buyers were outbidding each other. A buyer could not say to a seller, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you're making way too much money, and so take my lower offer. The seller would just move the buyer aside and take the next better, much better offer. So nobody could point to the seller and say, you know, you're making too much. It didn't matter because the market was paying more. Well, now that the market is paying less, the sellers can't sit back. The ones that have found themselves in a financial situation where they're losing money, they can't turn around and say, hey, listen, we're not prepared to lose that much. They can choose not to sell. It's the seller's prerogative whether they want to sell or not. But what somebody is willing to pay for their home, that's the market. And whether the sellers are making huge profits when the market is going up, or the reverse, where the sellers are getting beat up a little bit, some of them. Look, the market is the market, and those are the prices. As a seller, you could choose to sell or not sell. That's your choice. As a buyer, the buyer can choose to buy or not buy. But the price is hardly something where a seller can say, I absolutely need to get this, even though this is what the market is offering, we want this, because we don't want to lose as much, or we want to make a bit more. It just doesn't matter. Market is the market. You need to know that and know the real value that your home is probably going to sell at you. Like, you need to know that number before you commit to the whole process, so at least you know. And then you can decide if it makes sense to sell or not. Anyway, so we negotiated that offer, and the sellers eventually came down to our price. But it was really tough going to try to negotiate with somebody that just didn't understand that it doesn't matter what they want. It doesn't matter how much they're losing in this case. The price is the price. This is what my buyer is offering, They could have chosen not to sell it to us, but there was nobody else lining up to buy this house. If you feel this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description is a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Let's get into the numbers. If you're looking for an awesome, unique, multifamily home that's new, check out the video at the end of this video. You know, are we expecting more price reductions in Toronto? Well, let's talk about this for a second. It's July and August right now. Typically, seasonally, July and August are very sluggish. Prices tend to decline. It takes longer to sell a home. Sales typically trend down. That's a very typical seasonal July and August. It's what we would expect, and in fact, that's what's happening now. But we've got other factors we need to look at. We recently had an interest rate hike, and a lot of people believe another one's coming first week of September. So that adds to the whole, it's sluggish, but with this in mind, the interest rate hike, it could be even more sluggish. So are we expecting the market to stay this way or get more sluggish over the course of the summer? Probably, but you decide. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's get into the numbers. We're starting off with a quick summary. Detached, these are all average sold prices. Detached, semis and towns, condos. Now, as we look a little bit closer, I'm starting off with detached. You're going to see from 1 week to the next, and we're talking about week ending July 26th right now. From 1 week to the next, almost across the board, things got better actually. Prices went up, sales went up, months of inventory came down. But we're looking at the trend, and that's why I've got some of these blue highlights here. 129 detached properties were sold, which is up a little bit from the previous week. But if we look back for the last 4 weeks, it's actually been kind of steady. We'll say in the high 120s, kind of averaged out over the last 4 weeks. Which way is it going over the next few weeks? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Average sold price, it did go up just by a little bit from the previous week to $1,564,000. But so did the amount of properties selling at $2 million or more. We went from 18 to 24, and since there's only 129 detached properties are sold, those luxury properties really affect where the overall average sold price is. And so it did go up a little bit, but if we look back, there's been other situations just in the recent history where from 1 week to the next, average price goes up, but then continues the decline. So I've got it here, went up, came down. Went up 1 week, came down, and here we are again. It's gone up. Is it going to continue to come down? Let me know in the comments below. Compared to last year, 1,564,000 is 5% lower, 5% higher than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price of 1,284,000 is 3% higher than where the median price was a year ago. So year over year, we're doing a bit better. But overall, the trend for medium and average sold price is trending down. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. But it's pretty clear it's trending down. And over the span of the last 2.5 months, it's actually coming down quite aggressively. 129 were sold. 52% of those sold at list price or more. Now that's trending down, the percentages selling at list price or more. 260 were listed. Now, active listings, the amount of properties available for sale, 1 week to the next, it did come down a bit. However, overall, it's been trending upward. So is this just a weekly thing, or we're going to get back to active listings increasing? Months of inventory, 1 week to the next, it did come down. So that's, it shows, I guess, a tighter market. So months of inventory sitting at 2.3, but overall, we've come from a 1 month of inventory just in the last 3 months to now we're over 2 months of inventory, and it has been overall trending up. Prices have been trending down. That's for all of the city of Toronto for detached properties. If we break the city down into 9 sections and we say all of Toronto's 2.3 months of inventory, well, you're going to have different experiences in different neighborhoods. So you've got some areas sitting at 3.5, very much a balanced market here in Willowdale, Bayview, in York Mills, Rosedale, where the average sold price is over 2.9 million. You're sitting at 5.2 months of inventory. It's kind of like a buyer's market over there in the York Mills, Rosedale area. You've got over here 3.3 in the High Park, Parkdale area. But then you've got other parts of Toronto that are still quite aggressive. You got Scarborough sitting at 1.7 months of inventory. 72% of the properties selling in Scarborough are selling at list price or more. 1.8 in Riverdale Beaches, Etobicoke sitting at 1.8, 1.6 in Rexdale, Downsview. So people from different communities can actually be having conversations, and one could be saying, wow, in my neighborhood, properties are selling so fast, people are outbidding each other. And somebody listening to that, another neighbor says, what are you talking about? Properties are sitting, they're not moving. What are you talking about? Different experiences in different pockets of the city. Quick look at semis. Sales, look, excuse me, up by 2 from the previous week. 46 semi-detached properties were sold. 11 of those were at 1.5 million or more. Average sold price sitting at 1,274,000, and that is aggressively trending down. Compared to last year, 1,274 is 9% higher than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price of 1,201 is 19% higher than where the average sold price was a year ago. Months of inventory did come down from the previous week. It's now sitting at 1.3, but overall trending up. 67% of the semis that sold at list price or more. Here's townhouses. These are freehold townhouses. 15 of them sold for week ending July 26th. One of those was at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price climbed up a little bit to $1,185,000. 1,185 is 16% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price is 4% higher than where the median price was a year ago. And months of inventory did come down 1 week to the next, sitting now at 2 months of inventory. But overall, my attitude is months of inventory is trending up. 53% of the townhouses that sold at list price or more. Here's condos. Now, keep in mind, this is just for the city of Toronto. 240 condos were sold, which is up from where it's been over the last month, actually. It's been, and if we look at just the last 4 weeks, looks like sales for condos have been trending upwards. Previously trending down, but just looking at the last 4 weeks, trending upwards. Average sold price, however, slightly trending downwards over the same period, the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. $756,000 is the average sold price of the 240 condos that were sold for a week ending July 26th, and 30 of those condos sold at $1 million or more. Now that 30, it's pretty consistent what we've seen over the last few weeks. 30 the previous week, 29 the previous week, so pretty consistent at 30 selling at $1 million or more. 756 is 4% higher than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price is 2% higher. The median price for condos is $670,000, and both average price and median price trending down, not as aggressively as the detached markets. It's trending down, but only slightly. 240 sold, 37% sold at list price or more. We used to be in the 50 percentile selling at list price or more. That percentage slightly is trending downwards. 671 were listed. Active listings is definitely trending up. And months of inventory, let's look at it. You know, from the previous week, it's come down a bit to 3.2 months of inventory. So still very much in a balanced market type of category. However, over the last 4 weeks, looks like months of inventory for condos is trending down. Overall, previously was trending up, but for 4 weeks now, it's been trending down. Average price has been slightly trending down. This is something to watch. We see the detached market in the direction it's going. It's pretty clear. Condo market, it's changing a little bit. Let's see what happens there. Here's a quick summary. We're in a balanced market for condos for sure. Detached is going to feel in many neighborhoods like it's a balanced market, but some neighborhoods still very, very competitive. Quick summary here. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. Welcome to 4027 Bloor Street West in Etobicoke. Before I show you the inside of this home, let me tell you what makes it so unique. It has in all 8 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms. It has 9-foot and 10-foot ceilings. Each room has its own individual climate control. These are all luxury features you would expect from a custom-built home. But what really stands out in this home is that it was designed from the very beginning for 2 families to live separate and independent of each other, both above grade. Let me start by showing you the principal residence. So this is the principal residence. Including the finished basement, you have 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, about 3,000 square feet. So here's the finished basement. It has 10-foot ceilings, an entertainment area, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a private walk-up to the backyard. So this is the private, self-contained, luxurious secondary suite with 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Have a look.